Welcome back to TheWindowDog.com. Today is a continuation of our Window Wednesday video series. Now you may notice that this video is not coming out on a Wednesday, and it's because this is one of the many bonus videos we were putting out in between our regularly scheduled programming. So I hope you enjoy it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dan Schweiss. I'm the founder of Window Universe, a company offering windows all over the country. And I'm the creator of TheWindowDog.com, which is in fact the greatest source of replacement window information on the entire internet. If you have a window project in mind, I would suggest checking it out. So today's video, we're going to look at 3 very common window shopping mistakes. We're going to look at what happens when folks find themselves in these predicaments and how you can avoid that fate yourself. So hopefully you're going to find this video to be helpful. I would suggest hitting the old subscribe button right down below there so you don't miss out on their upcoming videos, as we are going to be answering every single question you could possibly ask when shopping for windows. We're going to do it all online on our website and on our YouTube channel, and I really hope you find it to be helpful. So jumping right into it, today we're going to look at window shopping mistakes, and mistake number 1 is falling in love with a window product before you know if there's a reputable dealer in your town that offers that brand of window. Kind of a mouthful. Here's what happens. A customer falls in love with a window product, whether they read about it online or they got a sales pitch and they think, holy moly, I want to buy windows from brand X. I think those are the greatest windows in the world, and I want to get them for my house. Now they might call the local dealer, figure out who sells these windows. That guy might be the old school, high pressure, pushy 3-hour sales pitch kind of guy. So that salesman comes over, gives you the 3-hour pitch, gives you the whole story. Maybe he does the heat lamp test, he's got different types of glass, he gives you the whole rigmarole. And at the end, he does the typical today-only pricing gimmicks. You know, the normal price is $2,500 a window for these windows, but we've got a promotion going on, and the 30-day price is $1,800, which is quite a savings. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Jones? And then the today-only price, lucky for you, is $1,200 because of the sale or the rebate or the quarterly bonus or the neighborhood discount or whatever it is, and you have to take advantage of that special offer today and today only in order to get this product for the low price of $1,200 a window. Well, you're no sucker. You don't want to get those windows for $1,200, so you kick this guy out. He won't take no for an answer. He's calling the manager. He's trying to get you a special deal. He's got financing. Finally, you succeed. You kick him out of the house. You shut the door. You turn off the porch light, and you hope that he gets in his car and drives away. All right, so that's what happens. Now, in that scenario, a very frequent response from the customer is to say that those windows were phenomenal. I love those windows. That sales guy was a total jerk. I hate that sales guy. So I want to buy those windows. I don't want to buy them from that guy. Now, the reason the customer feels that way, and if this happened to you last week and that's what led you to our website, don't feel like you're alone. This happens all the time. The reason the customer found themselves in that position was because the sales guy just gave you a 3-hour sales pitch about that product. Now, you would think anything's great if you get a 3-hour sales pitch about how great it is. And it might be a perfectly fine product, but it's not as remarkable as he made it sound, I promise. But the customer doesn't know that. So what happens then is you try to find somebody else who carries this product because you're in love with it. You think it's the greatest thing in the world. So you call around, nobody else sells this product. You get frustrated. You call the manufacturer directly and you say, hey, who in my town sells these windows because I want to get them? And they say, oh, it's Bobby's Windows. And you say, oh, I don't like Bobby's Windows. That guy was a jerk. I don't want to deal with him, but I want to get your windows. And the manufacturer says, well, Bobby's our only dealer in town. You know, good luck. You got to work with Bobby. So your choice then is to either grin and bear it and deal with Bobby, who treated you like a jerk, or maybe you call the dealer in the next town, see if they'll sell you windows, but they say, no, you're 2 hours away, you're too far for us to provide good service, we can't help you out. And then you get frustrated, you don't know what to do, you turn to TheWindowDog.com and you post a comment there, or you email me directly and you say, hey, I want to buy windows from company X, I'm in this town, can you help me? And the answer for me is no, I can't help you because I don't carry those products, and you're frustrated, right? So now look what happened. You spent a lot of time running around, dealing with different companies, calling all over the place, getting irritated for no reason. The mistake you made was you fell in love with a window product before you found out if there was a reputable dealer in your town that offered those windows. Don't do that. There's plenty of nice windows. One brand isn't better than all the other brands. If it was, everybody would just buy that brand and all the other companies would go out of business, right? So that's not the way it works. So there's no point, absolutely no point. It's a huge mistake if you fall in love with one product before you find out if there's a company in town that offers that product that you would be comfortable in working with. So my advice to you is find a couple of reputable companies in your town, get some quotes from them, see what products they carry, weigh the pros and cons, look at the efficiency ratings, the prices, the quality, all that stuff. Decide which one works the best for you, pick it, move on with your life. Much easier to do it that way. So that's that. Mistake number 2 is dealing with the today-only window pricing gimmicks. Now, these companies that price their products that way can be really, really good at it. These guys do this for a living. They're professionals. They've practiced it. They've rehearsed it. They've role-played it at the office. The guy's done this sales pitch for 1,000 customers before, and he knows that he sells 30% of the people who get this sales pitch buy this product from him, and he knows exactly what his numbers are, and he's good at this. So when you're sitting there at home waiting for the window salesman to come over and you hear that ring at the doorbell, you think, or you might think, that it's just going to be some helpful guy who's going to measure these windows and give you a quote. You might not suspect that this guy is a killer. He's a stone cold killer. He's going to come in there and tell you all of a sudden, lucky for you, the quarter end sale actually ended 3 days ago, but your boss just told you today that you're allowed to get 2 more orders in. You signed up one earlier today, so you've got 1 spot left to get 25% off their windows. It actually ended 3 days ago, but lucky for you, Mrs. Jones, I could slide you in. Would you want to take advantage of this offer tonight rather than pay 25% more for the windows tomorrow? Would you like to do that? Would you appreciate that opportunity? I mean, these guys are good at this. They're good at it. So I know in my experience, if we asked 100 customers, would you fall for a today-only window pricing gimmicks? 100 of those customers would say, oh no, I would never do that. Not me. I don't buy anything that way. I always sleep on a big purchase. That's what everybody says. But these companies sell a lot of windows. So somebody's buying them. Right? So that is a huge window shopping mistake. The neighborhood discount, the buy one, get one free, the quarterly rebate, none of that stuff is true. It's completely a fabrication designed to separate you from your money. These guys are good at it. They know that there's a human condition where we feel more strongly about missing a potential good deal than we do about getting a bad deal. Is that a weird little psychology thing here? It is. Some people, maybe not everybody, but some people they feel much more strongly about losing a good deal. They don't want to be presented with something they could have gotten and then let it get away. And these companies use that to their advantage, and they write up these orders at these inflated prices. People fall for it all the time. That's window shopping mistake number 2. Take a day or 2 or 3, call the company back. There's no way they're going to charge you more in 2 days than they would charge you today. Very frequently, they have a program in place they call rehash, where every unsold lead gets a call the next day from a different salesperson with a lower price. So your odds of getting a lower price from these pushy, pricey, today only, let me call the manager type companies, your odds of getting a lower price go way up as soon as that salesman leaves your house. Now, I would suggest that you shouldn't feed the wild animals. If they're treating you like that now, imagine how they're going to treat you down the road when there's a problem with your windows. Even if they call you tomorrow with a lower price, I would still suggest you don't work with them. But if you love these windows and you want to deal with it, that's on you. The price will be better tomorrow, certainly not worse. So don't fall for those sort of today-only window pricing gimmicks. That's mistake number 2. Mistake number 3 has to do sort of with the opposite end of the window shopping spectrum. And that is when people buy windows directly from a window installer. Might be a guy who was doing work on your neighbor's house. Your neighbors bought windows from the big window company that you see on TV. The installer was over there doing work. You might have struck up a conversation with the installer while he's leaning on his pickup truck smoking a cigarette. And you said, hey, would you be able to just put some windows in for me without involving the big company? Now, I'm not suggesting you do that because I think it's a great way to get a horrible result. But people think, however they met the installer, they think sometimes buying directly from the window installer is going to be a way to get a lower price. Now, sometimes it does get you a lower price, but it almost always also gets you lower quality too, because the small-time pickup truck type contractor might do great work. I'm not trying to disparage this guy and his ability to work hard. But generally speaking, those little outfits don't have access to the nicer window product lines. The nicer window manufacturers generally only sell their products through established dealerships. So, Bobby Pickup Truck trying to put in your windows might be great at doing his job, but he's generally going to only offer a lower priced product. He probably also pays more for those windows than a bigger company would. For example, my company buys millions and millions of dollars of windows every year. I pay less for windows than, Bobby Contractor would. So you're going to end up maybe not getting the deal you think you're going to get. You're definitely not going to get the same quality product that you would get from a larger dealer. And the biggest reason to avoid this scenario is because you get what they call a taillight warranty. That's what they call it in the industry. And what that means is your warranty is good for just as long as you can see his taillights as he's driving away. Now, he leaves your house, he drives around the corner, he puts that check from you into his bank, and that's it, you're done. Now, if you have a very small problem that's very easily fixed, you may be able to get him to come back and address it. Maybe if you tease them with the prospect of more work in the future, you'll be able to get a response and some help in the future. But generally speaking, if you have a problem, especially a big problem, say you have a substantial window leak and it ruins your hardwood floors and it's going to be $2,000 or more to fix it, you're not going to get this guy to come back and fix your windows. What you're going to get is a whole lot of frustration. And that's we see that kind of thing happen all the time. When we started our company, Bianca was our first salesperson. So she went from fancy pants lifestyle, working on Wall Street, living in Manhattan, to startup company, working out of a one-bedroom apartment, doing in-home sales, selling window quotes. And she still remembers, we were talking about this video earlier today, she still remembers an order that got away from the early days, one of the first customers, I should say, that she met with. And it went well, you know, she thought the meeting was good. She was driving home, she called me and gave me the debrief on how that appointment went, and it sounds good. And it's a good salesman thing you learn from experience, not to count your chickens until they hatch. So when you think, oh, that appointment went well, you know, you start seeing dollar signs and it falls apart. So that's what happened here. She called to follow up with this customer in a couple of days, and he said, oh yeah, I appreciate your time and all that, but I went with somebody else. And she says, well, that's unusual. Most people who met with us back then placed orders with us because we had a pretty compelling value proposition. And he said, yeah, your pitch was nice and all, but I went with this other guy because he came over and he was actually the guy that's going to put in the windows, and that made me feel comfortable. I just liked knowing who this guy was, and he was going to do the work. And Bianca lost this sale. So you thought, you know what, you're never going to get them all. That's not the end of the world. That's just, there's a numbers game involved here. Well, coincidentally, the reason this guy stood out in our minds was because 4 years later, he called her back. He still had her business card because it had her cell number on it. He called her cell number out of the blue and said, hey, you might not remember me, but I was wondering if you could help me, if you're still in the window business, if you could help me with a window problem. And she said, yeah, sure. And we were doing in-home visits back then. So she cruised over to his house and met with him. And he had 2 windows that were they were like cockeyed, crooked, and leaking at the bottom. And you could see when you looked at the sill, you could kind of see what was going on in there. And these were the new windows. These were windows that this customer had bought from the installer 4 years ago, causing him problems now. And he said he couldn't reach the guy. His phone number was turned off. You know, he was gone. And we've got a leak with these windows, need to get them addressed. We ended up, out of the goodness of our hearts, this isn't a service we offer, so don't call me for it, but we ended up taking out those old windows, repairing the opening, and reinstalling his 4-year-old windows, and solved his problem. We did that out of the goodness of our hearts back then, but that's generally not a service we offer. But that guy found himself in a pickle because what he had was essentially a taillight warranty. That problem he had down the road could not get solved by any means other than taking out his checkbook. So those today are going to be 3 pretty common window shopping mistakes, issues that we see come up over and over and over again. So if you're shopping for windows, if you have a window project in mind, hopefully that's some helpful information for you to help navigate this process. Now, you might find some more helpful information on our website at TheWindowDog.com, where you'll find a whole section on common window sales tactics, which people get a kick out of, and you'll also find a whole section on replacement window reviews, where there's tons and tons of information about all different models and different options and styles and warranties and prices and all kinds of stuff. So you'll probably get a kick out of that as well. Now, down in the description, down here below this video, you'll find a link to find our company's locations if you'd like to get a quote from your project. In most cities, we can do that completely online with no pushy in-home salesperson. It's a breeze. We've created the easiest way to get new windows. You're going to love it. If we do not offer windows in your town, we may know another company to recommend. I've been at this for a long time, all over the country. I know lots of people in this business. So if I do not offer service in your area, but I do know somebody who does, you'll find that information on our website as well. And the link to that page is right down below there. So now for our continuing Window Wednesday series, we have a new video that will be posted Wednesday of this week, which I think you'll get a kick out of. We also have another bonus video coming up, and then the following video next week is going to be more about window pricing tactics, how these companies do these today-only pricing gimmicks, why they do it, and how it relates to our human evolution from caveman days. So I think you might get a kick out of that. So that's our video for today, folks. Now, I've got this beer we got imported from Girdwood Brewing in Alaska. They shipped it down to the lower 48 for us. We had a little bootleg operation going on, and we're going to crack open a couple of these cold ones and have a nice night. So we will see you guys next time.